Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki Jai, Gauranta ki Jai, Anta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to all of you to our Sunday program here at the Krishna Temple Zurich. Herzlich willkommen zu unserem Sonntagsfest. Gibt es jemand, der oder die kein Englisch versteht? Okay, everyone, very good. So, anyone here for the first time? You're here for the first time? You not?
Ja.
Das erste Mal. Herzlich willkommen. Schön. Wie habt ihr es da geschafft?
Wir haben mal hier im Döbeli, sind wir alle so abgeklopft mit so schöner Musik und haben uns eine Meinung
Okay.
hat mein Sohn unbedingt da alle kommen, hat das alles eingereist und es hat alles kommen.
Wie heißt du? Was ist dein Name? Elias. Ja, super Elias. Das war eine gute Initiative von dir. Yes, so we're now gonna have a... Verstehst du Englisch? Das ist schwierig. Dann tue ich für dich heute ausnahmsweise noch ein bisschen Schweizerdeutsch auch reden, damit du verstehst, was wir jetzt machen. So, jetzt haben wir einen Vortrag. Jetzt kommt dann gerade ein Gast. Und ich tue ihn auch vorstellen, wenn er da ist. Er gibt eine Vorlesung über unsere Philosophie, also aus unseren heiligen Schriften. For those who didn't understand, now we're going to have a lecture with His Holiness Bhaktivasudev Swami. And he's on the way, as far as I understand. Yes. And maybe before he comes, I can just give you a few information about the upcoming programs. So then we don't have to do this after the lecture. We have next Sunday our Chulan Yatra festival. Chulan Yatra is a festival where we have Radha Gopinath deities. They will be on the altar also on that day. And then they will come out and with a swing we are all invited to swing them, give them pleasure. So that's a festival which is also celebrated in the spiritual world, and we also do it here. And we are very fortunate also that we will have Madhava Prabhu with us. He will be singing Kirtan. So the program will be more or less the same. We have a regular Sunday program. But then at 7:30, Radha Gopinath will be coming here. There will be a swing. And then we can all take part in that swing festival. And Madhava Prabhu will also lead Kirtan for 2 hours. Then the following Monday, meaning the Monday after the Chulan Yatra, we are celebrating Balaram Purnim. Balaram Purnim is the divine appearance day of Balaram, and on that day we will have a smaller program in the evening, starting at we start at 5:30 with a lecture. 6:30 we have the Arati, and then at 7 o'clock we again have Madhava Prabhu for Kirtan, and this will go till 8:30, and then there will be Prasadam. So that's the festivals next Sunday and then the Monday after. And now we are very fortunate and happy to welcome His Holiness Bhaktivasudev Swami. Let us welcome him by loudly chanting Hari Bol! Would like to give you a brief introduction. His Holiness Bhaktivasudev Maharaj is an initiating guru within the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and he has spent over 35 years as a monk in full-time service of propagating the message of Krishna consciousness. He joined ISKCON in Lagos, Nigeria in 1984, and he is initiated by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, who is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj came here last year after a long break, and We were so happy about his presence here that we invited him again. He was supposed to come a few weeks back, that didn't work, and now he's here today with us. And he will speak on the topic, stepping stones in spiritual life. Who knows what's a stepping stone? You know?
Getting love of Krishna.
Oh, maybe the word in itself. What's a stepping stone?
Stepping stone is something like ultimate.
Floating stones which make path.
Yeah, which help us move forward. No, like in Deutsch we say ein Sprungbrett. So we'll speak about this. What are stepping stones in spiritual life? Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yasudhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasudhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasudhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tirabana Chari Jamuna Tirabana Chari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Bala Haribo. Jai Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Astotra Satat Sisima, the Divine Grace is Panpanacharya, so A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Jai. Jai Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Astotra Satat Sisima, the Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavena Ke Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridasa Gaur Ke Jai. Prem Si Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Si Advaita Gadadhara Si Vasadi Si Gaura Bhaktabhinda Ke Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ke Jai. Sri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ke Jai. Sri Mayapur Dham Ke Jai. Sri Jagannath Dham Ke Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ke Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakta Devi Ke Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ke Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the summer devotees, all glories to the summer devotees, all glories to the summer devotees, all glories to Sisi Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agena Timirandasya Agena Janasalakaya Saksura Militam Yena Tasmai Si Gurubhya Namaha Sachaitanya Mano Vistam Sthafitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Darati Swa Padantika Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvisesa Sonya Bhadi Pasoti Hadisathalina Vancha Kalpatari Vicha Vipasana Vyacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. So, welcome again everyone to our famous Sunny Feast. And today is going to be something participative. It's not like some professor comes in to download some stuff from his hard disk. So, first of all, we come to devotional life, we come to Krishna consciousness. And in the beginning, it could be very, very, very juicy. And then as time goes by, we begin to experience that our enthusiasm is waning. And then we begin to wonder, what am I doing wrong? What is it that needs to be improved? And sometimes we do have challenges. We might feel very incompatible with somebody in the temple or in the community, and sometimes we just avoid coming to the temple because we feel, oh, I don't want to see this person. Yeah, people have different reasons to not come to see Krishna. And therefore, today we want to collectively explore what are the challenges that we face in devotional life and how we could use those challenges as stepping stones to sustainable devotional culture. If we have not started having problems in devotional life, it means that we have not started. Problems will be there. Okay, so that, get these points clear. So that when you start having some challenges, then you're not surprised. It's better to be foretold, be told in advance that, the problem, the process is very nice. Association with devotees is amazing. You have a lot of experiences and establish very good relationships with members of the devotional community. But there are also problems. And therefore, if we have this understanding in advance, when we face some problem in devotional life, then instead of just becoming too surprised, we could devise some means of, or plan out some strategy on how to become a conqueror of that problem, instead of becoming conquered by the problem. In most cases, people become conquered by the problems they face in devotional life, especially when it's coming from authority. Say, some senior devotee did something like this to me, and so I don't want to go there again. I don't want to go there again. So, if we understand that devotional life is meant to satisfy Krishna and Prabhupada, Guru and Krishna, then we take all the challenges we see as a way to be able to embrace a change. When we take to devotional life, we are initiating a change in our lives. Is it correct or wrong? Correct. Yeah. We are making a decision that no, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, especially for those who have taken a decision. They have initiated a change in their lives. And understand that even in the material world, even in the secular setting, most change initiatives fail. The change initiatives that fail are more than these change initiatives that are successful. And there are a number of intrinsic and extrinsic factors responsible for that. And we cannot shy away from the fact that we are initiating a very huge change in our lives when we take to Krishna consciousness. Sometimes people will say, you have been brainwashed. Yeah, because you now no longer do the things in the way they want you to do it. You want to live your life. Because we humans, every human being is exhibiting some type of Ishvara Bhav. Control tendency is there. Control. The parents control their kids. I know of situations where parents control their kids even when they are 35 years old. Oh yeah. That is how Ishvara Bhav is so dominant in our lives. And one of my young friends in India, he had a PhD in mathematics. He has a PhD in mathematics, and he told me how he visited home, and about 5:30 or so, he was going to go out to see some friends. And as he was, going out, his mother just came from nowhere and cross-cut him and said, "Hey, where are you going? Look at the time." 35 years old. So, when we come to devotional life, also we will experience, or we experienced, that control tendency from our peers or from our seniors. And so when you're experiencing some type of imposition on yourself, the tendency is to think, no, this is not the right place for me. I'm an independent person. I don't know the case here, but in America, once you're 18, no one controls you. Our kids are like that. No one controls you. Even the parents, if they want to ask you to do something, they will solicit. But, other parts of the world, they're different cultures. And therefore, we should understand that the Ishvara Bhav is very dominant in us. When we come to devotional service, we will experience situations where we tend to be controlled by some people. But the control is for what? If the control is to facilitate your Krishna consciousness, what is wrong in it? Say, your parents try to control you, and they're controlling you so that you don't overspend your money for useless things. What is wrong with it? But we do have that sense of independence. And therefore, we don't want anyone to control us. If when we're asked to do some service, sometimes it clicks on our mind. We think, who are you to tell me to do this? Who are you to tell me to do this? And therefore, we need to get all of these points, clearly spelled out, that the things we experience outside, the same things we may experience in our communities. But consistency and persistence is our watchword. We don't give up devotional life. We don't give up the devotional process for whatever reason. If we give up, our purpose is defeated. It's like you go to school, and I've seen this a lot. Even one of my aspiring disciples, she's doing a PhD in political science, and then she told me, "Maharaj, I want to just drop out from this program. I sent my dissertation to the professor. For 1 year, I didn't get the feedback." Yeah. So, the important factor in our devotional life is to be able to understand, what am I doing? Whom am I doing this for? If we understand the purpose of our service and who is getting the results, then anyone can ask you to do anything and you don't give it them. You just do it because it's a way of helping us to grow. We have resistance to change. Talking about change, all of us, we have resistance to change. In fact, resistance is one of the resistance to change is one of the major obstacles to organizational development. And so, we may have good intentions, but intrinsically, we do have the resistance. In fact, if you ask a 2-year-old kid to do something even for their own betterment, the first thing that comes to their mind, or the first thing they will tell you is no. Yeah. And this is very common all over the world now, but in America it's very dominant. A 15-year-old boy, his mother was soliciting for him to chant, and he just told the mother, no, he's not chanting. So you may even have children who are going to resist your good instructions in devotional life. What do you do? Do you use that opportunity as a chance or a stepping stone to higher opportunities, or you become overwhelmed by that? We're talking about stepping stones right even within a family. Before even you come to the temple, right in your family. There are those stepping stones you could use in making progress in your devotional life. So, you have a child, you tell the child, chant Hare Krishna, and then the child says, no. And then you say, chant Hare Krishna and be happy, you'll be happy. I said, Mom, I'm happy. The tradition, the fundamental thing is the parent become angry. He or she is upset. You are not obeying me. You're angry. And therefore, we could be reactive when people resist change that we propose. And that could bring a lot of conflicts even in our families, in our relationships, and even in the temple. Because when people build up some resistance, what we could do is to figure out a way to be able to placate the situation instead of going into confrontation with the person. And when we do make decisions could be rough. We find the case of Arjuna. He was confused. And decisions are the bedrock of transforming obstacles to opportunities. When we make decisions, we should understand we are trying to transform obstacles to opportunities. Because before we make a decision, we have a block before us. We want to see that we'll cross over that block. So we'll find the case of Arjuna in this conversation with Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna was confused. He wanted some help. But he was also very knowledgeable, so he was arguing with the person who is proposing the assistance to him. So sometimes we come to devotional service, and instead of taking instructions as stepping stones for our spiritual development, we may want to argue. If we don't argue openly, we may tend to be in disagreement from within. It happens. And therefore, when we understand, again it boils down to one thing. When we understand who is the recipient of the outcome of this service, then we don't need those type of frameworks to distract us from focusing on our goal. We do what is necessary, what is needful, and you just move on. Because when we make the decision to become involved in Krishna consciousness, in some cases, we don't consult anybody. We're just attracted to the system, attracted to the teachings, and we make the decision. Boom. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be part of this system. But the system, as we know, systems are very complex and complicated. However, the Krishna consciousness movement and the teachings are very straightforward. Therefore, when we understand the viewpoint of the Bhagavad Gita, for instance, the viewpoint of Krishna, challenging Arjuna's lackadaisical approach to his own duties. Sometimes we have prescribed duties, things to do, and we could be lackadaisical. So, the whole idea is that we are like small Arjuna. The symptoms that Arjuna exhibited on the battlefield in his interaction with Krishna, that we all exhibit those symptoms. Sometimes we don't even want to get up from bed. Maybe it's too cold, or the body is too weak. And so the decisions that we have to make, immediate decisions or strategic decisions that are based on strategic plans, have to be used as stepping stones for our devotional growth. If we don't look at the things we do or even the decisions we make in relationship to stepping stones in our devotional progress, then we may regress in some of the things we do or some of the decisions we make. Therefore, it is important that we have, or we create at a time, to be able to have a spiritual networking and collaboration to be able to sustain our devotional growth. Isolation, for instance, may be something that could drive people crazy. But if we are in an environment where there are no devotees, that is also an isolation. Because the thought patterns and the mindset don't seem the framework of the don't seem to fit into the framework of the environment. And therefore, what Arjuna was experiencing on the battlefield in terms of having to make a resolute decision that will help in sustaining his dharma, it came from Krishna. And it was only when Arjuna surrendered to Krishna that he was able to create that viability and positive change. So yes, we may have different type of decisions to make, but according to Prabhupada, he said we should make our plans and we should hang it on Krishna like a garland. Krishna is the one who gives the final verdict. It doesn't mean that we just sit back and say, well, Krishna, I depend on you. You make the plans for me, and you make the decisions. You work for me, because I'm so surrendered unto you. If Krishna has to do everything for us, if Krishna has to decide everything for us, what could be the use of the big brains he has given to us? Yeah. So, stepping stones. Let's see how we use even the challenges we have in our devotional life as opportunities for growth. First, we need to embrace change. We do experience change. Bhagavad Gita, basically Krishna spells out, Dehi nosmi yatha dehe, kumara yavananjara, tata deham tara praptis, dhiras tat namoyati. This is change. See, change is a big thing in management faculties. They have, big institutions where change is studied. Where change is right there in the Bhagavad Gita. The individual change and the collective change. And so, if we are trying to be devotees and we understand we will have challenges, are we ready to embrace the change? Because if we are able to embrace a change and adapt to the change, then we can excel. We will be able to, traverse that very challenge. But if we are not able to adapt to the change, it could be a problem. I mean, it's like, okay, you're living Switzerland here, during the winter it's cold. You adapt to the change. You put on, sweat wears. You put on jackets to protect yourself from the cold. That is adaptability strategy. And when we are in devotional service, say someone comes into our lives, that is also a change. Are we ready to embrace it? Or we are, say, in our workplaces, we have people who come into our lives. That is also a change. Are we ready to be able to embrace the change and adapt our lives to suit the purposes? Otherwise, we say, hey, you're the Kami, come and get out of my life. But we are dealing with these people out there. We live with them, we work with them. So what does it imply? To utilize those forums, those situations as stepping stones in creating opportunities for growth. Talking about association. You are either schooling, working, or none of these. Say you're working in an office where there are non-devotees. Practically, you are the only devotee in the office. Do you tell them that, hey, I'm a devotee? Get away. Yeah. I think sometimes, we speak the philosophy, but we don't really explain in details how people should adapt to change. So that's a serious situation, because some people, they really get confused when they hear that a devotee is not supposed to associate with non-devotees. But then we go to work, we go to school, we travel around and camp in areas with non-devotees. These are obstacles to our devotional life. But yeah. But we are not living in the forest. We don't live in the forest. We live in the cities. We are interacting with people. We live with people. In some families, maybe you are the only person who is a devotee. So, how do you use that obstacle for your spiritual advancement? Now, a very simple process is, instead of taking the association, you should give association. Instead of imbibing their energies, you should be able to have a psychological space and give the association that they need. I've seen cases where, I remember one of my friends in Washington, D.C., she was a bank manager, she's retired now. So I was speaking with her one day, I said, how is your mom? She said, Maharaj, I would just dump those people because the parents are not cooperating in terms of, participating in devotional life. I said, but you think that devotional practice is easy? You think everyone is going to take to it? Just because you are doing it. You think it's so easy and everybody should just do it. First of all, if people don't have sufficient pious merit, they cannot sit down and chant Hare Krishna. Krishna mentions in the Gita, Bahunam Jamana Ante Jnana Mam Prapadant Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudulabha. Sudulabha. It's in the superlative degree. Dulabha is difficult or rare. But Su is in the superlative degree. It is very rare to find somebody who is practicing Krishna consciousness. To find someone who is perfected in Krishna consciousness. So find someone who is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. That is very rare. We have over 8 billion people on the planet. How many pure devotees we have? How many billions of pure devotees we have? How many thousands of pure devotees we have? So, it's not going to be easy. And if we're not viewing it from a practical perspective, we could create enmity even in our families, amongst our friends, because we have taken to Krishna consciousness. The major thing that confronts our sensibility in these circumstances is that a number of us seem to be maladjusted. There are two things: adjustment and maladjustment. We don't want to, a number of us don't want to adjust ourselves to suit anybody's purpose, either my way or the highway. And that will create conflicts, or that will create situations where there will be resentment, or that will create a situation where you say, like my friend said, I just want to dump these people. But Rome was not built in a day. There are several ways that we can utilize those situations for our own spiritual growth and even to help those individuals. So for instance, you have a family of, say, okay, you are not even living with them in the same house, but you're living in the same city. You have a family who are not involved in Krishna consciousness practice. How do you change that obstacle? How do you transform that obstacle into opportunities for collective growth, devotional growth of both parties? Yes. Well, I've been talking, so it's time for you to talk now. It's a practical thing that anybody could experience, or most people experience. Especially in the Western countries, even in India, people become devotees. Some of their families, they are Mayavadis. They live in the same house. I know the case of one of my friends. She's a software engineer, and she was trying to help the parents to become involved in devotional service. The mother was completely adamant. Mother is a Mayavadi. The father, however, took it up. So so when you have people around you, your friends or your families, who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, what do? Do you dump them? Or what is the best way to deal with it? Yes? Pardon? To give prasadam. That's a very powerful point. Yes, what do? You create a papal bull of demarcation? Or what? Yes?
You try to live by example.
You try to live by example. That's another powerful point. Any other point? Yes?
We have to discuss with them. We have to communicate with them.
Communicate with them. Yeah, you can't say you love someone when you don't communicate with the person. What's the question of love without communication? If you say you love somebody, call them up to say, just to say, hello, how are you doing today? Is everything okay with the family? This is even a big thing in this secular world and even in our own communities. We only call somebody when we want to engage them in some service. In most cases. I'm being frank with you. I've served in ISKCON for 40 years. I was a temple president, a regional director. I've served in different capacities. Yeah. So any other points to help with such a situation? Yes.
See our relationship with them as service and pray for them.
Praying for them. Any other points? You have all these situations. Please, tickle your brain and generate something. Oh yeah.
Invite them to programs, Sunday programs.
But they won't come. They're not devotees. They tell you
Yeah, but sometimes they come. I make the experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Invite them to come sometimes, yeah, for festivals or like that. Yes.
I tell them, you live your life and let me live my life.
Oh. See, but what we are talking now is about changing obstacles, using obstacles as stepping stones to as opportunities. So if you just tell them that, it's like, leave me alone. Get out of my life. Yes.
Do not criticize.
Do not criticize, yeah. See, another thing, I appreciate all the points. Another thing that we can think of is, instead of changing the way, changing your relationships with them, you could even strategize to show more love for such people. Because then they will realize that you are indifferent to their resistance to participating with you, but rather you are even loving them more than what they expected. Because when someone is in disagreement with you, it's like a fracas, psychological fracas, or sometimes even verbal fracas comes up. So yeah, there are so many obstacles in our lives. You see, to get up every day and chant 108 rounds, it's amazing. To chant 64 rounds every day, it's amazing. But that is just to salvage yourself. We are not liberationists. We are supposed to be involved in welfare activities for all. And so, those very challenges that we are facing out there, yes, we could use those challenges. We should rattle our brains and see those situations as a means of getting opportunities or changing them into opportunities for our spiritual growth. Otherwise, we will not be helping Lord Chaitanya so much in changing the world. Yes, we'll be changing ourselves. They will not be helping so much to change the world if we just after ourselves only. Now, how many of you come to participate when there is Harinam here? How many days you have Harinam in the month here?
We try to have 2
2
a week.
a week. One is on the weekend?
On Wednesday and Friday.
Friday, people are working. You are doing it just only for devotees or for devotees living in the temple? Because if you do it on a weekend, say Saturday or Sunday, one of them, maybe some people will come to participate. And they will be able to help in transforming themselves in an expedited way, and helping also to change the obstacles of the environment into opportunities for growth. Because when you do this public chanting, see, we have our personal challenges, obstacles. The society, the community, the city have so many obstacles. When you participate in the Harinam, what traditionally happens is that it brings down, that energy brings down even crime wave. In the 19th century, some researchers conducted a study in Washington, D.C. They come together to chant mantras in the District of Columbia. Before they start the process, they recorded the crime rate with the D.C. Police Department. So they did this for a number of days, and then within the period, they found that within the period they were chanting, the crime rate plummeted. So when we're talking about the chanting purifies the environment, the researchers have conducted experiments to show scientifically how this happens. So when we come to participate in the Harinam, we are doing the greatest welfare to the city, helping to bring to lower the crime wave. Yes, it's not the purpose of the chanting, But it's one of those positive side effects. Every intervention has side effects. You take chemotherapy, for instance. If you undergo chemotherapy, some people, it really has adverse effect on the body. But it's to deal with a particular disease, a particular problem. Someone was telling me, somebody was being injected in the eye directly because he was going to lose his eye. So the doctor recommended that. So that was sustaining his sight, but it caused some side effect. He had his lungs. He had to undergo surgery on his lungs after some months. So every intervention, my point is, every intervention has side effects. There are also side effects in this Mahamantra intervention. It's an intervention because it is therapeutic. We chant, and researchers have come up with different results in terms of how the chanting helps to mitigate anxiety, depression, stress. There are also researchers recently who have come up with reports on how the chanting helps to minimize what's this disease that you can't sleep in the night? What's the name? Yeah, insomnia. Insomnia. Yeah. You could Google this on the web. It's there. Mantra chanting and insomnia. It's there on the web. I think the professors who did that study, I've been to their institution, one of the Ivy Leagues in India, for a presentation. They did that research and they came up with results showing that chanting of mantras helps to minimize our vulnerability to insomnia. So many things. These are not the purposes that we are chanting. We are chanting to attain Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema Pumato Maha. But these are all some side effects. And therefore, if we want to transform our obstacles, the challenges of life, into opportunities, we want to use the obstacles as stepping stones. The mantra, we should not relent whatsoever in our chanting. Don't allow some so-called more important thing to enable you not chanting your regular rounds every day. This is a major effect for change. This is a major effect for devotional change. How many people here chant every day? Oh, very good. Those who are not yet started, this is not a theological doctrine. I like to present issues from a scientific perspective. Because the people I deal with in academia, they are not religious people. They are not also philosophers. And so you can't present something, Krishna two Bhagavans for him, and then they say, okay, tell me more. It's not like that. Therefore, we should see how we are helping others. Those who are chanting, they know the benefits. We should see how we are encouraging and helping others to chant. We should not just be satisfied with our own progress only. And if we do become lackadaisical, we become uninterested, we're lazy, we're spiritually lazy, we should at least confide into somebody who could give us some advice. We pass through these challenges. And the challenges are there because we have human bodies. Human bodies are impacted by, there is an interplay of the gunas on our bodies. The gunas are endogenous and exogenous. They are external, they impact on us externally, but internally too. So yes, this is a world of challenges, a world of problems. In Bhagavatam is mentioned, pada padahi vipadam. This world is just characterized by challenges. In our devotional life, we do have to experience the challenges. But by following up with these strategies, we can always emerge victorious and create a positive devotional change in our lives. Any comments or questions? Yes.
Question, Prabhuji. Thanks for your words. Like the challenges which you get from the loved ones. It is like I also said, we should express love towards them, but it is like sometimes very challenging, very hard, because the words are very hard and coming from the one who you love, and the comment which comes on your belief, how to deal with these challenges.
Yeah. You see, if someone who is far away, if someone who is far away comes to create a problem to you, you wouldn't care. But the person you love most pokes you or icks you, that could be very, very challenging. That could be very difficult to do. But you know what? I mentioned this also. Adjustment, psychological adjustment. We have to shift our mindsets. If someone, for instance, okay, let's say you have a child, and the child does something naughty, really nasty. This is somebody you love. Your pet child. It does something nasty. The tendency is it provokes, it arouses anger. And in most cases, we don't normally tolerate it. Although Krishna said, tap titiksha swa bharata, at that time, we don't remember Krishna's words. We think that the tap titiksha swa bharata has to do with some other circumstance, not with my child. This is practical philosophy, okay? So yeah, when someone close to us hurts us or challenges our sensibility or devotional sensibility, it could be difficult, but adapt to change. Be adjustive. Respond proactively. Let me tell you a story. A girl, 80 years old girl, a girl in Florida, in Laguna Beach, in California. The father told me this story. I went to the temple for a presentation, a Sunday class. After, I think that was Ram Navami. And then after the class, I've not even gone down from the ashram. This man came to me and was reporting himself about what he did to his 8 years old daughter. He said he came back from work one day, and the girl, for no apparent reason, he started abusing this girl, all types of insult on her. She kept quiet all through. Very un-American. The girl, I repeat, was very un-American. A typical American girl of 8 years old, you do that, they call the police and put you to jail. She didn't see anything. Days have passed. Her time is already passed. Days have passed. He had even forgotten what he did. The girl also was sober. They were eating. And then the girl raised the issue. Dad, you know the other day you came back from work, you did this to me. Did you have a fight with somebody in the office that day? 8 years old. It's not the Paramahamsa who is acting like this. 8 years old. That is pro-action. That is psychological adjustment. So people, 8 years ago, girl has acquired that skill or that platform. We should practice. Because Krishna said, Tam titiksha swa bharata. If someone hurts you, it's not that you don't have the feelings. It's not that you don't forgive. You can address it. Because we are afraid of trauma. If you accumulate all of the traumatic effects, it could affect you later. So it's always good to release it by addressing it. That's exactly what that girl did. If someone, your loved one, acts in funny ways to you, first remember Krishna's instruction. Time to teach us for Bharata. Then, when your temper calms down, when you're happy, he is also happy or she is also happy, you can discuss it. You can ask politely, like the way the girl did. Srila Prabhupada, okay?
So, Haridas Bhakti Vasudev Maharaj ki
Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj, for speaking about the stepping stones and how we can turn them to opportunities. Just want to mention you also, next week, on Sunday, we have a festival. It's called the Julan Yatra or Swing Festival. So there will be a swing here where we can swing in the afternoon or in the evening, Shri Radha Gopinath. So you are all welcome. And on the Monday, the day after the Sunday, we have another festival, Balaram Purnima. Also the program you can find outside. And just want to also mention you that you save the date. On 26th of August, there is our biggest festival, which we celebrate here in this temple. It's the appearance day of Lord Sri Krishna, Krishna Janmastami. So it's going to be a very, very big festival. We start in the evening at 6 o'clock here, and it will continue till midnight. So please save the date and take holiday from your work and enjoy this. So now I wish you a very happy vegetarian feast outside for sure.
Some of them